Okay, this video is from the Juicebox channel in the Discord server. You can find the link to the Discord server in the description below, or WG likes to leave a UR code on the screen. You can follow that as well. This is a video from The Layman's Take, a smaller channel than I, yet this video has more views than my average video does, so I feel justified in covering it. It's from a year ago, and it's called Debunking the Worst Pro-Immigration Arguments. Let's take a look, see what we can glean from this video. Ireland's dumbest open borders argument.
Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine there's a woman who has been the victim of domestic violence. She manages to escape her abusive husband and is left on the street with nowhere to go. After much searching, she manages to find refuge in a woman's
Barrier-free women's shelter opens. Look, they have all the accommodations for women. They have the chair and the trash can, etc.
shelter. After a few weeks and with a lot of help from the shelter, she manages to find a place to rent, gets a job, and starts to put her life back together. She started to progress, made a home here, and things are going well. A few months later, however, she gets a knock on the door, and it's a
Is it an immigrant?
distraught lady. She says she went to the shelter, but it was full. She was told about what a success story the woman was, so she went to meet her and see if she could help her. The woman pauses for a second
The woman was turned away because of immigration. Is that it?
and thinks, I don't know who this lady is. I only have one room. I'm trying to pick up the broken pieces of my own life. Can I really care for a total stranger?
No.
But the woman
No. This whole thing is an allegory for immigration. Is that not a HIPAA violation? What was? I didn't hear any HIPAA violations.
thinks of all the help she got at the shelter and how helpless her personal situation felt. So she decides to help the lady just like
Please. Oh my god. The lady's gonna be a freeloader, isn't she? She's gonna be like not doing any chores and like laying on the couch and like shitting herself and whatever. Like, right? Like, please.
the shelter helped her. The woman says she can sleep on the couch until she finds her own place.
Yes?
However, the next day she has another knock and it's the same situation again. Another lady without a home.
Oh, a twist! There's more! More ladies that need help.
Thinks,
Oh no!
well, I took in the first person, so how can I say no to her? I don't want to be a hypocrite. So she lets
Wait, I took in the first person. How can I say no to her? I don't want... What? If you only have room for one person, then you only take one person. My friend, you are making an excellent argument for socialized immigration programs, my friend. Like, you literally are making the argument right now because you don't want individual private citizens to be in charge of taking care of people who come across the border seeking help. Yeah, you want the government to do that. You are literally making that case as we speak.
her stay too. This situation happens again and again and again until her home becomes crowded, unrecognizable, unlivable, and
This is white supremacist bullshit. Like, this does not happen. We already looked at the immigration statistics. It went like the highest it's ever been in like 2023 or something. And it was like 900,000 people were like naturalized into citizens. Okay? 900,000 people. That's like not even 1%. That's less, like way less than what, it's like 1/4% of the population. It's not that serious. Okay? This is great replacement theory bullshit.
full of strangers that now, since she's invited them in, she cannot get rid of. The situation continues until she and everyone else is forced to leave by the landlord, and the woman is left on the street once again.
Wait, the landlord? Okay, you broke lease, dipshit. First of all, let's talk about housing. Maybe if she weren't renting from a landlord and she had her own property and the liberty to do as she pleases with it, she could take in as many people as she saw fit, okay? So that's one. Two, like, again, like, you're making the case for we need government assistant programs for these people. Like, like you're literally making that case right now. Yeah, private citizens shouldn't be in charge of like taking in people, and also she broke rent, dude. She broke lease. Okay, that's the problem here.
Again with nowhere to go, right back where she started. Now let me ask you 3 questions. 1. Did the woman have the right to say no at any point?
Yes.
2. Did the woman have the right to say no to the first lady who came to her home? And 3.
She's not the government. Your government is tasked with taking care of people in their borders. He's trying to compare this to the goddamn government. It's like the government is not like this unfortunate woman who struggled in her first years of life and then was nice enough to take in people who had nowhere else to go. Okay? The government is literally built to handle that. That's part of what it's for. Like, are you kidding me? This analogy is like dog shit.
Should the woman have prioritized her own well-being over trying to help everyone else in a similar situation? If you answered no to any of these questions...
By the way, it's worth pointing out he's using a woman because he's a misogynist. And he's like, oh my god, women don't know better because women emotional and women do good thing because emotional. But man no do this thing because man know better, man smarter. Man take care of self.
Then you won't like the rest of this video.
The worst
Here it is, folks,
pro-immigration argument.
the midwit's #1 catchphrase. The most overused, played out, nonsensical, cliched pro-immigration argument there is. Okay. Sure, didn't the Irish go everywhere?
Sure, Jay, just didn't the Irish go everywhere ourselves?
Here the point they're trying to make is that because there's a long history of Irish people immigrating to escape death or persecution in instances such as the famine, or for economic reasons as has been happening since the country's foundation, then we have no right to stop people immigrating here for similar reasons. Here
being, I assume, like the UK. I just think that like people should be allowed to move to where they want to move to. I believe in freedom. I think that's a good value to hold.
On the surface level, this sounds like a succinct highlighting of the hypocrisy of anti-immigration sentiment. But when you actually think about it for more than 5 seconds, it makes no sense at all. The reason it doesn't is because a country's decision on whether or not to open their borders to Irish or other immigrants is not made by those immigrants. Each country is responsible for their own border policy. They decide how many people they let in and who those people are.
Yeah, and I think that like the more people they can bring in from like it's okay, so like my thing is right, like if you're taking people in at far higher rates than like the nations around you, like let's say that you're like on a border, let's just say for like, you know, hypothetical purposes that like you're the greatest and richest nation on the planet and then like south, you know, like possibly south of you, it could be any direction, but let's just say like south of you is like a nation of people who are not as prosperous and who are looking for a better life for themselves. You know, maybe there's even several nations down there. Who's to say? I mean, this is all hypothetical if you think about it, but like, let's just say that that's the reality that we live in. So these people come over to clearly they would try to seek a better life for themselves and come to this great nation that they are told has promise and opportunity for them and their families, right? That makes sense to me personally. And you'd think that this great nation would be like, yeah, you know, we have such great prosperous things to offer people. Let's accept these foreigners with open arms because they have things to add to our culture and we're the great melting pot, or so I'm told. Like, let's welcome them with open arms and they'll work for us and make us even more prosperous because as it turns out, human bodies are very good at working sometimes. And maybe they'll make more for us than they cost us or something. I don't know. Maybe that's just a possibility. Like, let's just say hypothetically that all of that were true, right? Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I'm just saying that, like, you know, like maybe that's not such a bad idea.
Their own border policy. They decide how many people they let in and who those people are. Some countries might want increased immigration because they think it will benefit them. And some countries might want reduced immigration because they think that will benefit them. But
yeah, because those countries are stupid.
Just because countries like America, Canada, Britain, or Australia at certain points in their history decided that it was in their own interest to accept large numbers of immigrants has absolutely zero bearing on what Ireland's immigration policy should be.
I don't know much about Ireland, but my guess would be that like immigration wouldn't hurt that much. I don't know much about Ireland, but like from what I know, like more manpower is good. Okay, I've really never heard of an instance where like immigration led to like largely bad things. I'm not that smart. Yeah, I could be wrong, but like I've never heard of
And
that.
it doesn't mean that we are now obligated to copy those policies just because some Irish people benefited from them in the past. Those countries enacted these policies because they believed that it would be in the interest of their people, and they have every right to change those policies and close their borders at any time. The Irish people have that very same right. The immigration policy of Ireland.
I believe in the right of people to move freely across the land. I believe I'm a strong freedom believer, you know. Controversial opinion, but I think that the earth was made for humans to traverse as they please. Personally, I just think that like it is the most beneficial for humans to be able to move around as freely as possible without the impetus of government stopping them. You know, like I just think that's bad to do that, to stop people from being able to move where they want to move. But what the fuck am I even talking about? I'm just a freedom believer.
Should be
That's just
solely
me.
motivated by what most benefits the Irish people. The "sure didn't the Irish go everywhere" argument is basically saying that because some Irish people have benefited from immigration to a small number of countries, then we must now have open borders to the whole world forever. Which is so mind-numbingly stupid. It would be funny if the entire media academic.
You act like people are just going to come from every guy, like you'll just have like swaths of people like just like crossing your borders and like what, like just chilling, like not doing anything. It's like it's just racism, man. You just believe that people who are not in Ireland, or if I had to guess, not white, just like will come inside of Ireland and not do anything. And that's not the case. Okay? Like immigrants are some of the hardest working motherfuckers in the entire not United States. Yes, United States, but like in the world, okay? Like immigrants don't just come into a country and then do nothing. Okay? That's not a thing that happens. They're hardworking, just like the rest of us, trying to make a living, often for their families, just like the rest of us. They're just trying to live decent lives, just like the rest of us. Okay? Calm the down.
And political class didn't hold it up as some logically bulletproof, morally unassailable point that must be repeated ad nauseum. I mean, imagine if we used this same principle on any other policy. Here's one example. You could say, well, Irish people benefit from cheaper energy prices because countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Russia, Norway, America, and many others all drill for fossil fuels. And if they all stopped, our energy prices would skyrocket. What right do we have to ban drilling for oil and gas when we have historically and still...
Jeez, hold on. I'm trying to... Oh shit, I just rewinded way too much. I'm trying to understand his point here.
...interest to accept large benefited from them in people, and they what most is basically saying that academic... I mean, imagine if we used this same principle on any other policy. Here's one example. You could say, well, Irish people benefit from cheaper energy prices because countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Russia, Norway, America, and many others all drill for fossil fuels. And if they all stopped, our energy prices would skyrocket. What right do we have to ban drilling for oil and gas when we have historically and still currently depend on them and have benefited from them? That's just pure hypocrisy.
I mean, couldn't you make the argument that like you've historically benefited from slavery? I still feel like you'd be allowed to ban that because you're literally like taking advantage of human beings. Even if you've economically prospered from the institution of slavery, like let's take the United States. Even if you've economically prospered from the institution of slavery, it doesn't mean that abolishing slavery is like immoral somehow or like hypocritical. Like you're doing an objective good. So if you're talking about like banning oil, like banning the drilling of oil or like fracking or anything like that, my assumption would be that you're doing that to benefit the environment. Just because you've historically prospered from that doesn't mean that it would be a bad thing to ban it because you are trying to help the environment from getting worse. Like this logic doesn't add up to me.
Somehow I don't see many in the media and politics making that argument anytime soon. And they won't do that because they don't actually believe in the principles they're espousing. They don't actually believe we have some moral duty to copy-paste any policy Irish people have benefited from in the past. They're just trying to manipulate history to get you to shut up and accept the changes they want to make to the country. The people of Ireland today aren't the descendants of the people who immigrated. We are the descendants of the people who stayed, who suffered, who fought.
Oh, this is just like white supremacists, like they're replacing us bullshit. Like this, immigrants are not replacing you, man. Okay, like you're fine. You're not being displaced. You're not a Palestinian. That's good, right? Like, what are you complaining about? You're fine. Shut up.
And eventually achieved independence and the right to self-determination. This self-determination is the right of all free people, and it does not disappear.
This self-determination is the right to tell people that they can't come here. They're forbidden from our land, right? That's what we've deemed acceptable, is that people from other countries are forbidden from coming here. That's our freedom to do, is keep people from moving to where they want to move to.
Just because some friends and family, through great hardship or lack of opportunity, decided to leave, and other nations, motivated entirely by their own self-interest, decided to accept them. So yes, the Irish did go all over the world, but that in no way means the world has the right to come here.
No, but like, I feel like it does, right? Because like, the Irish emigrated to every other place on earth. That makes them immigrants to those places. So yes, you should actually accept immigrants, you dipshit, because you're saying, oh, well, it's okay, bruv, if like, you know, I can't do Irish accents. Sorry, I'm just gonna do Brit Bonger. Like, it's okay, bruv, if you know, you're Irish and you go to, you know, any other country on earth, bruv. But like, you know, if non-whites want to come here, bruv, that's bad. Like, you don't, like, the logic doesn't logic. What is it? Is it immigration's good because you do it, or immigration is bad because other people do it to you? It's a double standard you're setting. I feel like I can take on so many of these dipshits, like, about immigration with half of my fucking brain power. It's crazy.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.